Good morning, Facebook friends. Happy Thursday. It's Angie Garza, Director of Professional Learning and Educational Services at ROE 47, serving Lee, Ogle, and Whiteside counties. Back with you again today on Facebook for another edition of our Thursday Teacher Talk. And believe it or not, we are already in the month of June. And so June is a very exciting time for our office. We kick off our summer learning. We look ahead to planning next school year. We close out our fiscal year and participate in a variety of different activities in our communities to continue to engage, inspire, and work with not only our teachers, but also our students, families, and other stakeholders. So today we are kicking off our series about kind of closing out this month of June and actually for our office moving into a little bit of a transition. For those of you who might not know, our esteemed leader, Mr. Robert Sondegraff, Regional Superintendent of Schools, is officially retiring at the end of this month, and we will be undergoing some changes in our office. So as we look ahead to the future, we wanted to take this month to celebrate his leadership, to introduce some new faces who will be in the office, and really just kind of celebrate all of the great things that have transpired in the last several years under Bob's leadership. So to do that, I am joined by two very special people this morning. First and foremost, I would like to introduce to all of you Ms. Stacy Dingus, my friend, colleague, and co-host as always. Ms. Stacy, good morning. Happy Thursday.
Hi, Angie. Good morning. I'm really honored to have this conversation this morning. I have known Mr. Sondegraff years ago when I started teaching and have been lucky to work closely with him this last year as I work with ROE 47. So I think we'll have a great chat today, feel inspired, hear about all the great things that he's done, and look towards the future.
Stacy, there have been some great things that have happened over the years, and we are going to find out about those from the leader's perspective himself. So I am also joined on our teacher talk this morning by our leader and regional superintendent for a few more days, Mr. Bob Sondegraff. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here.
So with that being said, we really wanted this morning to be a reflection on your leadership and a celebration on your service, really, to our communities. And so I'm interested, and I know you tell your kind of, I'd like to think, origin story many times in our communities, but not everyone's heard it. So can you tell us, to start us off this morning, a little bit about your journey? What called you to serve in the role of regional superintendent, and maybe tell us a little bit about what you like best about the job.
Okay. Well, my journey to regional superintendent is probably the strangest journey of anybody next to your next regional superintendent, who is my assistant, Chris Tennyson. Chris and I both came to the regional office after having careers in other professions. For me, I graduated from Illinois State with my teaching degree, and I did what everybody does when they have their teaching degree. I became a fireman. I was a volunteer fireman for the city of Sterling, had been for 2 years. There was an opening. I took the test. I also applied for Sterling and St. Mary's. All three positions were offered to me. You have to remember, this was back in 1978. So I was offered $7,600 a year to teach at St. Mary's. I was offered $10,400 a year to teach at Unit 5, and I was offered $10,600 a year to be a fireman. I chose to be a fireman, and my wife and I, Cindy and I, got married the next April in 1979. It was a good, stable profession, and I really enjoyed it. And I would have been there for the rest of my career if it hadn't been for fracturing my knee in a house fire 8 years in. But while I was on the fire department, after my probationary year, they had plans for me. I was the first fireman that in Sterling that had a college degree. And so they made me their fire inspector and public education officer on my days off. And so I learned the codes very quickly. And I also learned that when you inspect the public schools, the fire department is not the authority having jurisdiction. The regional superintendent of schools is. So I worked very closely with the assistant regional superintendent of schools back then, Gary Steiner. And we inspected all of the Sterling schools together. I had the same type of arrangement with Gary Cook over in Rock Falls, when he would also work with the regional superintendent. And so we both knew that the regional office was actually the final authority when it came to the codes and the safety of the students. And I thought that was a little strange until I really looked into it. And the reason being is that when you have 862 districts across the state, there are a lot of them in towns that don't have fire inspectors. And they don't even have, all they have is a volunteer fire department. So if the regional office does not inspect those schools, nobody inspects those schools. So part of the duties of the regional superintendent is to make sure that the schools are inspected on a yearly basis. So after I got hurt, I found out I couldn't be a fireman anymore. I stopped into the office, and this was 8 years after I'd started. Gary Steiner was now the regional superintendent. Gary and I worked on getting my certificate back in shape. And I eventually started teaching at the same school my kids went to, East Coloma. I got my administrative degree while I was at East Coloma. And then a few years after that, the assistant regional superintendent's position opened up. So I applied and I got an interview, and then I got called back for a second interview. And this was in July. Lorna Ingwald had been the assistant, and she had decided at the first part of July that she wasn't coming back. So I think it was July 21st. I came in for my second interview. Gary said that he needed somebody to inspect the schools as one of the main duties as the assistant regional superintendent, among many others, and wondered if I could do that. And I said, I think I can still do that. And he said, well, then I need you in Springfield tomorrow if you want the job. So I went to Springfield the next day and went through training and landed in the regional office. It's just been a strange circle that I started my career as a fireman inspecting, and now I am inspecting schools from the regional office perspective. It's been very rewarding because there was not a lot of training for inspectors in the regional office. So we set that up after I came into the office. I'm very proud of the fact that I worked on statewide committees to really strengthen the codes and strengthen the inspection process. And now we have our fire departments or state fire marshal's office come with us so that they're familiar with the schools. So that's how I ended up in the Regional Office of Education. And I've been married to Cindy for 42 years. We have 2 kids, Ben and Jenny. Ben works for the Learning Technology Center, and he covers Northern Illinois. But he was started as a teacher in Morrison, and Jenny is a preschool teacher at Riverdale School in Rock Falls. I'm very proud of both of my kids. They both have their master's degrees there, and I'm blessed enough that Ben and his wife Rose have Ryder, who's our 4-year-old grandson, and Jenny and her husband Dustin just had their first grandchild and my first granddaughter, Rayleigh Elise, and Rayleigh is 7 weeks old, and I got to hold her as she took a nap over the weekend, and it is just a joy. So I've really, family, as you can tell by my background, there's just a few pictures of family, and family is very important. I believe that's one of the things that I brought to the regional office, is that family is very important. Family is first. Our jobs are second. But we have to take care of our families first.
Bob, obviously you have had a lot of experience and brought brought, a lot of knowledge to ROE 47. As you take a second and look back, what are some strengths that you think the office has had? What are some things that you feel good about as you leave and head into your retirement?
Well, I would say statewide, I'm very proud of the Health Life Safety Committee and what we have done to improve the inspection process. But locally, for our ROE 47, I think it is really our professional development department. Our professional development department is the best in the state as far as I'm concerned. And it has grown. Angie and I sat down and talked after we combined. And I cannot believe the growth in our professional development department and what we bring for our districts and our teachers and our superintendents and our principals. I think the proudest moment I have, I would say there's a couple of them. First of all, combining 6 years ago when we were ROE 55 Whiteside and ROE 47 Leogal, and becoming ROE 47 Leogal Whiteside. And the staff has just melded so well. I'm very proud of that has happened. But I think I am most proud of how we got through this last year and a half. I think under Angie's leadership, and we have done a tremendous job of helping our teachers and our principals and all of our administrators get through this very trying time. And I think we came out of it. We made it. I still can't believe it. We made it through a whole year. And then we had a few shutdowns here and there, but it just boggles the mind when I listen to districts that or hear about districts, especially in Chicago, that just got face-to-face within the last 6 weeks maybe, and because of I think our health department and all three health departments and the professional development that we've had and our administrative meetings that we had every Thursday for a while there, just to get people through this. We've been face-to-face and helping our kids, for anybody that wanted to come face-to-face, for almost the whole year. And I am just so, I guess if you want to know what I'm proudest of, a year and a half ago, I would have said it's combining the offices and how well that went. But now I am the most proud of our office's leadership and our districts in getting through this pandemic.
Those were certainly some very trying times that we walked through. And now Bob, I feel like we're looking ahead to next year, and we're still in that position where we're thinking, gosh, what's next? Things have changed so quickly in our world and continue to evolve. And we're changing the face of education because of everything that everyone has been through. So I'm curious, as you step away from this role, this service position, and you think about the office and you think about what's next, where do you see ROE 47 going, and what's your hope for our educational community as we move forward together?
Well, one of the reasons I'm stepping down and retiring is that I think I've taken ROE 47 as high as I can. I think we've really accomplished a lot. But it's time for me to move on, because I think that the team that we have set up now with Chris and his new assistant and Angie and you, Stacy, and all of our grant coordinators, and I would really be amiss if I didn't mention our licensure specialist, Mary, who is just amazing to work with. But I think we can go to the next level. But I think it will go to the next level with new leadership, because as much as you try, there are things that you get set in your ways. And it's time for me to move on and let the next group come in and take us to the next level. Because I saw that over the last year. One of the things that I've always felt in this position is you hire good people and you let them do their job and get the hell out of their way. And that is what I wanted for the office. I wanted to have the people that took over for me to have that same philosophy. It took me a while to find the right people, but they're there. And I think that that is going to continue, is that we've got really, really, really good people in this office. We're going to continue to grow, but we're going to continue to let them do their job and get the heck out of the way. And I think that's the best way to grow. Sure, final authority comes to the regional superintendent, but if you have good people, that's not as bad as it sounds. And we have great people, and I really think that we have come a long way in the 6 years since we combined. And now I think it's really time to go to the next level. And I think the new team under Chris's leadership and Angie's leadership and the new assistant's leadership, I think it's going to go. I think it's going to get there. And I think it's going to be fun to watch.
I was going to say, this might be a no-brainer question. But there are a couple of things that you just mentioned that I just want to highlight really quickly. One is the fact that we've got a great team at the office. There are some just truly talented people working there. And if you've never been inside our office, it really is kind of like a family. We all work together and work toward the same goal. And then you also kind of talked about, your rocking chair. So tell me, I'm going to get you in the feels here. Tell me what you're going to miss the most and what you're most looking forward to in your retirement.
I am going to miss the day-to-day contact with all the people here in the office and the phone calls, being able to help teachers. One of the things that I love about this job is having a teacher call and wonder, what should I get my master's in? And counseling them through that, or having somebody say, I've done this career and now I think it's time for me. I think I want to teach. And boy, can I relate to that. I had a career. I understand that. And so I love working with new teachers. I love working with people that have been in another career and decide to go into teaching and realize that it is the best profession in the world. And I love our alternative school and giving kids a second chance. But I think I'm going to love watching it from the sidelines. I'm constantly pushed to be better by my beautiful wife, who is my rock. And I think that it'll be fun to see what the next adventure is. I'm sure it will include many trips to Disney World and Disneyland. We already have some planned with the whole family, and other traveling. I'll help out at the office some, doing some inspection work yet, and which is really what I think that's really my background. And it'll be fun to just be able to just do that a little bit and still be able to see people and still be able to be out in the education community that I love so much.
Well, it does take a village of people to do what we do. And so I'm so glad that you mentioned your family support and your wonderful wife, Miss Cindy, who allowed you to run for another term. So we are wishing you all the best in your time with your family as you kind of walk that path of retirement. And we're very happy that you're still going to stay plugged into what we're doing in the schools and in our communities. So thanks for choosing to come back for a little bit and keep in touch with all of us.
Oh, you bet. I can't wait to watch the way that the regional office is going to grow. It is going to be so cool to see what you guys do when I get the heck out of the way, and let you just blossom, which you already have. And I think you'll just go further. The office is just going to get better and better, which is hard to believe because I think it's pretty damn good now. Excuse my French. So.
It's a wonderful place to be. It's what we do. I always say is a vocation. It's a calling. And I've been called to serve in the regional office for over 11 years and spent a good portion of those with you. So I just want to, on a personal level, thank you so much for all of your support over the years and your commitment to helping us grow and do what we love to do. So thank you. And on behalf of all of our Lee Ogle Whiteside County educators, thank you so much for your years of dedication, leadership, and service to our educational communities. We are thankful for everything that you've done, and we are very happy to send you to that path of retirement where you get to sit in that rocking chair and hold some more babies, but still work with us to ensure the safety of our schools. So thank you again for everything that you do and everything that you have done. We know that great adventures not only await ROE 47, but await you in the coming years. So thank you so much, Bob Sondergroth, Regional Superintendent of Schools, at least until the end of this month.
That's true. All right. And thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure and an honor to serve.
Thank you. Facebook friends, this has been a Thursday edition of Teacher Talk here in our first Thursday in June. Please remember to join us each and every Thursday here on Facebook for another edition of Teacher Talk. As I mentioned to start our time together this morning, we are focusing on all of our changes in our office for the month of June. So come right back here next Thursday for another edition. And in the meantime, it's summer. Go outside, get some sun, get some fresh air, enjoy the rest of your day, have an even better weekend, and we'll see you right back here next Thursday for another edition of Teacher Talk.